Hey everyone, and welcome to the 2018-2019 transition video. Basically, I look back at the last year and I just talk about all of the things that happened that year. You know, the good, the bad, the funny, the interesting, all that. Because it's good to take stock. It's good to remember some of the cool stuff you did. And, you know, I have the YouTube channel, and I think the audience who's interested in hearing about it and looking back, so how about we do that? So, first off, I hit 58 subs from, I forget where I was last year. I've gotten up to 11,322 views, which is up from 10K, so that's something positive. And basically, as usual, I have the month-by-month breakdown. So starting with January. No joke. On the 2nd, in Final Fantasy VII, this game on the PS3, PS4 store, because my PS2 was not working as well, I bred a gold chocobo. Basically something that back in the day was challenging, but now with internet guides and stuff like that, it's quite easy, and it's just cool. And really quick, for proof, I have a picture of it that I will put up here. But moving onward, I saw the eye doctor and got new glasses. These, basically the difference between these and my old specs are the fact that, you know, the lenses are a bit bigger. Prescription might be different, but hey. But I also got something else in contacts. Yeah. Basically, it's very apparent, I wear glasses, but I also wear contacts sometimes. For when I play the different doctors, or sometimes I just go without glasses. And that's a challenge, because I am nearsighted. But, you know, it's not a big issue. I can see pretty fine. It's just I can't read very good. Like, imagine you're in the classroom and you can't read the whiteboard. Or the blackboard or whatever. It's essentially that. Like, you know, 6s look like 8s or things of that nature. We also had OhioCon 2018, where I brought Black Mask, the Batman villain, Taguro, and the First Doctor. And I got to meet and interact with some pretty cool Doctor Who cosplayers. You know, including a few of the classic Doctors. This was the first shoot I had for Hartnell, and that was just cool. Moving into February, I ended the story of the second Doctor. Like, I'd gotten done finally with Who's There? The Life and Career of William Hartnell, written by his granddaughter. And, you know, it was cool to get a look at the actor. And I really enjoyed that. Let's see, nothing else came up, so moving on to March. March was when I finally started the Arc Thought series. Basically, every Wednesday leading up to my talking about a season, you know, I would do the Arc Thoughts, basically breaking down each individual serial and giving my thoughts, you know, good, bad, what worked, what didn't, etc. That way, in case there are people who want to go back to the classic era and find out and like see some of the crazy stuff, like they know, okay, this arc's worth it, but this one's kind of blah and meh, and just skip it. Let's see, March 3rd, in Final Fantasy X. Yeah, that game. The game that everybody just loathes. I finally beat the Luca Goers in the original tournament of the game. Basically, this has no bearing on the story. You just get a bunch of, like, ability spheres and different stuff, and that's cool, but it's just interesting because in the canon of the world of Spira, you know, the Luca Goers are, like, the biggest champions of the game, and the Besaid Aurochs that you play on are the worst, have never won a game, and are just crap. So to come in and beat the highest team, that's just awesome. And it's also cool because one of the characters that's in your party, Waka, is the captain of the team, and this was his retirement game. So it was a nice kind of, hey, here's a send-off. You know, we won the tournament. And I just like that. Let's see, March 14th, Stephen Hawking passed away. He was age 74. He was, you know, one of the most well-known physicists. And, yeah, it's just crazy. Moving on to April, the musical performer Avicii, as well as Vern Troyer, passed away, unfortunately. I also found out about the passing of one of my friends, Heather Croyle. I actually added the comment on the last year's video that she'd passed away in the winter of 2017. I forget what it was, like pneumonia or something like that, and yeah. And the reason I found out about this was because a mutual friend of ours, Eileen, told me about it. Basically, Heather and I, you know, had started talking on, I think it was OkCupid or Plenty of Fish or something. We went out once, it didn't work out, but, you know, we stayed in contact, and, yeah, and that just sucks. Like, Heather was, you know, a wonderful girl. She was a couple years younger than me, so she would have been, like, probably, well, I think a few years younger than me. Basically, I'm 30, and this individual was around 30, and that's just unfortunate. On to better news, though. April 21st, I released my first video edited with Movie Studio Platinum 13. My new editing software that I haven't used recently because conversion time takes a while sometimes, and also I need to fidget with it more and figure out different things like green screening and just other things. And I need to work on that. And if you're interested, the first video was the Straw Hat Role Models Grand Line Edition. Basically just looking at the Straw Hats who came from the Grand Line and the heroes they had. So like Chopper, Robin, Frankie, Brooke. I feel like, yeah, that's right, yeah. Sorry, there's a lot going on. I'm trying to keep it all together. On the 26th, more unfortunate news. I haven't really talked about my buddy Chris, but one of our mutual friends, William Beige Holmes, I'll put the name down. He unfortunately passed away. He was a couple years younger than me. He was a very good guy. I know he went to Texas at one point, and then he ultimately came back. And I know he was going to be an EMT, and he was very interested in medical, and he was good. And it just sucks to hear that, you know, somebody a few years younger than me is gone. I'm not going to go into the details because it's been a while, so I couldn't say honestly, but yeah. Into May, saw Avengers Infinity War, and oh my god, that ending was just so upsetting. Like, so much stuff goes down. It's gonna be crazy, because in 2019 we have the next Avengers movie, which is Endgame, if I'm right. We also had Cosplay Crafts. The Cybermat went up. And I also finished the second Doctor story, which was Season 6 of Doctor Who. And I got all of the month of the second Doctor stuff up, finally, in November and December. In June, Toys R Us closed its doors. I didn't really go there a lot myself, but I do remember one significant thing for, you know, Pat and myself personally. That was where we got, it was either Tin Star, which is basically just a Western shooter game, you know, with robots, or Beavis and Butthead. I forget which one it was. And, you know, it just sucks to hear about a business go under, and so many people who work for the company were affected poorly by that. You know, the retail workers, the store managers, etc. Yeah. Let's see, my Floral Pants cosplay video went up. July and August, I started watching The Flash. Basically, like I said earlier, Movie Studio Platinum 13, it takes a while to convert things. So, I hopped on Netflix. I looked up The Flash because my brother Patrick loves the DC Universe shows. Specifically Arrow, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow. Supergirl, he's kind of meh on, but hey. So I started with Flash for some reason rather than Arrow, because as far as I know, the order goes Arrow, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, and then Supergirl. Were all released. So one of the big things with that is they all have crossovers at certain points. Like, I think with Flash, basically after season 3, I believe it's like episode 8 is a crossover episode. So one episode is Arrow, one episode is Flash, one episode is Supergirl, one episode is Arrow. Legends of Tomorrow. It's a lot to keep track of, and it can be kind of frustrating. Like, oh, hey, cool, we're in the middle of this story arc. Oh, wait, this thing's going on. What? Who's that? Why are we doing this? It's just... But, yeah. So, anyway. Ow. I've got cough drops. Otherwise, I'd be coughing and hacking like crazy. Like, trust me. I'm trying to do this fast, because I'm running out of cough drop. Let's see. September, I completed my very first Pokemon Go raid. It was an 1165 Magikarp, and I even wrote a little story about it. And you know what? I will share the picture of that because it's funny. So, poof. Jack Black apparently got a star on the Walk of Fame in Hollywood, which is awesome. I like Jack Black. I haven't seen everything he's done, but he's definitely done some good stuff. And that's just cool. I appreciate that. Like Tenacious D, School of Rock. I've heard Jumanji was good. Welcome to the Jungle, which is a sequel that's not really related to the original Robin Williams movie from the 90s, but hey, it was good. And then we had Pat and Brad Unbox Sentinels Part 2. Basically, Patrick took part in the Kickstarter for Sentinels of the Multiverse. And, they sent out some of the stuff in waves. Last year, or 2 years ago, I honestly forget at this point, we'd gotten the first set of stuff. A lot of the main games with some expansions, and then this was just, like, 1 or 2 more expansions and some more, like, collector's edition stuff. Variants, large print cards, etc. And, it was fun. And I'm glad I got to share that with Patrick. Well, I'm glad Patrick decided to share that with me, and we got to share that with all of you. Because it is a fun, interesting game. I love playing it whenever I get the chance. And, yeah, like, seriously, if you're interested in comic book heroes, or, just a fun, random game with your friends, check it out. Sentinels of the Multiverse, greaterthangames.com, I think. I'll have to look, but I'll put something below so we know what it is. Moving on to October. NeonCon 2018. October 6th. I got to meet Quentin Flynn. He's a famous voice actor. The 2 big roles that I know him for personally were Axel from Kingdom Hearts. Got it memorized. He said that a lot. As well as Raiden from Metal Gear Solid. And that was cool. I got a picture with him. I got his autograph for myself as well as for my buddy Dan. And it's just cool. Doctor Who Series 11 with Jodie Whittaker premiered in October. I saw the first episode. I have yet to see the rest of the season, but I really like that introduction. I really like Jodie as the Doctor, and I can't wait for the next season. Which, at this point, has been slated for early 2020. Basically, at this point, I'm hearing a lot of, complaints about the writing for the show. People didn't care for. But also, in the beginning, people were like, oh my god, a female Doctor, this is so crap, and blah, blah, blah. Even though we've gone through this with the Master. The Master, is another Time Lord that changed genders and became Missy. But hey, oh no, the Doctor did. Oh, you ruined the show and blah, blah, blah. All that misogynistic BS and whatever. was what I originally heard. But now, having how the season's wrapped up, I'm hearing, oh, we don't care as much for the writing and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, I want to see it for myself before I make my own judgments. And hopefully, I can meet up with Brian or Pat or somebody and we can do that and we can hopefully talk about it at some point. But anyway, moving on. The end of the road, Ash Williams. Ash vs. Evil Dead Season 3 is the finale of the series, which is really frustrating because they leave it on a good cliffhanger that leads into Season 4. Now, I've heard some speculation that they might do like a comic book thing where it continues the story. I haven't heard much about that recently, but I hope it does happen because that would be cool. Let's see, November. I got a PS4 finally. Because Kingdom Hearts 3 has been announced for January 2019, as well as Resident Evil 2 Remake. And I'm just like, yes, I want that. I want both of those games. I want to play them. I loved Resident Evil 2. I've loved the Kingdom Hearts games. The main ones, not all of the side games, because there are a million of them, and it's crazy. But, yeah. And then a week after I got the PS4, which was for a pre-Black Friday sale, I had platinumed Ratchet & Clank, the 2016 remake. Now, again, like with Final Fantasy X, there may be some people who are like, I didn't care as much for the game. I totally agree. The story, compared to the original, is crap. But, like, the gameplay of, hey, you can, evolve the weapons like you can in Going Commando, Up Your Arsenal, and all the other games, makes it at least makes it playable and enjoyable, and it's a nice introduction for, a younger audience. At least the movie is a good introduction. The game is kind of, like, I don't know, it's worth a play. I platinumed it, and unfortunately I probably won't pick it up again. So if I have that Ratchet & Clank itch, it's definitely going to be Going Commando or Up Your Arsenal again. Just saying. My cousin Alex got married to my buddy Brian. Well, she was dating Brian before Brian became my buddy, so I want to clarify that as much as possible. And, I think that's cool. Took part in No Shave November informally, with my full-time coworkers, at Sam's. It was cool. It was fun. I liked it. And I hope to do it again next year. That's why I still have the goatee and beard. But also, for some future stuff. We also had the Month of the Second Doctor, which I talked about. Basically covering, Patrick Troughton's life and career, as well as his time as the Doctor, with a fun little narrative that I've worked in. And I can't wait till we get rolling on Doctor Who in 2019. I have so much more fun stuff to do with this. Like, I have a bigger narrative that's going to be going on, at different points within the series. And we'll see how it goes. I'm in December. We're almost done. 100% completed Crash Bandicoot, Crash Bandicoot 2, and Crash Bandicoot 3. Basically, I got all the gems. I didn't do all the relic runs yet to get the Platinum Trophy because, oh my god, those are insane. You have to get all 30 gold relics to Platinum Trophy, these games, and it's ridiculous. And I'm just like, oh, why would you do that? But, it was one of the first PlayStation games that I played ever, one of my favorite series, and I'm just glad I got to at least get all the gems and 100% it that way. Team 4-Star concluded their series Hellsing Ultimate Abridged. Hellsing Ultimate Abridged is what got me into the Hellsing Ultimate series. It helps me to meet up with some other fans of the series, and it's led to some good friendships. Erica, Damien, Elliot, just to name a few. Like Elliot Everin with on several occasions. Erica and Damien have their own YouTube channel where they do their No Laughing Outer cosplay. And basically they do a fair amount of Rick and Morty stuff and Gravity Falls and just a few other things, and they're really good and I would totally recommend them. So if you get the chance, check out No Laughing Outer cosplay. I swear You will not be disappointed. And then one last bit of unfortunate news. The YouTube channel Super Best Friends Play, is pretty much closing up shop. Basically, if you don't know them, it started out as two gentlemen from Canada, playing different games and just, making jokes and having funny commentary, and it grew into something bigger. It brought in a couple of their friends. They did full Let's Plays instead of like 10 to 15 minute, just montages of, clips and comedy bits and blah, blah, blah. But from what they stated in the video, it was putting some strain on the two main best friends, Matt and Pat. And so they're going to not work together, unfortunately, on the main channel anymore. Everyone who is still involved with Super Best Friends Play, Matt, Pat, and Wooly, will be hosting all of their own stuff. Like on Twitch, on YouTube still, whatever. They just won't be working together because, again, a fair amount of strain on the friendship and stuff, and that's unfortunate. But, they left the YouTube channel up, so if you want to go back and you want to check out Super Best Friends Play, check them out. They're fun. They're interesting. I love their stuff. Also, they're much bigger than me, so they don't need my endorsement, but hey. And then, just a quick recap of the people who reached the end of the road this year, or who have passed away. Stephen King, we talked about. Avicii, I talked about. And basically, the big thing with Avicii for me was the song Hey Brother. Like, it really resonates with me because brotherhood and fraternity and all that. Vern Troyer, who was the actor from Austin Powers, he played Mini-Me, just to clarify. He also appeared in Feast 2, and oh my god, I hate Feast 2. He doesn't do a bad job in it. It's just, you guys should have left it at Feast 1. You went 2 and 3, and you really crossed me with 3, and that stupid ending, and just F off for that. William Beach Holmes, one of my buddies. Aretha Franklin, musical performer. Probably most famously known by, like, a lot of people for, the song Respect. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Do you know what that means to me? All that. I hope I'm saying this right, and I'll put it below. But Unsho Ishizuka, Japanese voice actor. He voiced characters like Hercule and Mr. Satan from Dragon Ball Z, as well as Professor Oak. Honestly, without him, I don't know if those series would have done as well and come across the sea to us. So, thank you for your work with the character. This is the coughing and hacking. Stefan Carl Stephenson. He played Robbie Rotten in the Nick Jr.'s show Lazy Town. He did the infamous YouTube meme, We Are Number One, that song, and just he was a very cool guy, and it just sucks. Basically, he had some form of cancer, and he put his all into the character, and so like it's going to be impossible to replace that energy, that spirit, that individual. Let's see. I also have Burt Reynolds. Famous for his role in Smokey and the Bandit. He's a real man's man. He passed away at age 82. And then, unfortunately, the two biggest bombshells. Stan Lee. One of the biggest names in comics ever. Passed away November 12th, 2018. He helped to create so many different heroes. The Hulk, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Captain America, just... So the world's a bit dimmer without him. As well as Steven Hillenburg. He was one of the creators behind SpongeBob. And, yeah. And that's it for 2018. All the major stuff that I went through, that I experienced. You know, it was a year that had its ups and downs, obviously. But, you know, I think I've learned a bit. I think I've grown. And I can't wait to see what 2019 brings us. You know, hopefully, you know, more fun adventures with the third Doctor, Jonathan Pertwee. And like I talked about, I've got some story ideas for that. I've also got the Wall of Fame project coming up. Basically, I just want to send shoutouts to different fictional characters as well as a YouTuber or two and put them up on my wall so that I have something to remember them by. And, you know, I want to share who those people are with you guys so you might look into them and you might get some idea behind why, you know, I'm so crazy or I'm so obsessed with certain characters or certain people or whatever. You know, it's been a crazy year, and I want to thank you for going through all of it with me. I want to thank you for watching this probably 20+ minute video. And yeah, you know, I want to do more. I want to make things more engaging for you guys. So I want to try and figure out some kind of background ambient music. I want to try and figure out some more with Movie Studio Platinum 13, whatever it is called, I forget. And just, there's so much stuff I want to do, and there's so much stuff I have to do, like, over this year. Like, I've even got a calendar over there behind the camera here. Basically, where I'm going to write down, like, okay, Wall of Fame is due this day. The Arc Thoughts 1 and 2 for Season 7 are due on these days. It's going to help me keep track of things, and yeah. So hopefully, if I keep up on things, things will be good. I can do, you know, one major video per month. Arc Thoughts are going to be smaller videos, obviously. And then, you know, with certain seasons of Doctor Who, I'm going to have an additional video, basically for the small narrative. And again, I don't want to spoil it, but I like the idea that I'm going with. Even if it's terrible, I'm going to have fun with it. And I'm hoping it gets more people interested, because now that we're getting further into the series, certain characters are going to be introduced, and well, I wanted to, like I'm paying homage to the Regenerations, I want to pay homage to those characters. You know, in what way that I can. So, oh my gosh, like, you're in for at least one interesting thing. K9, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do anything with, but we'll see when we get there. I will say that. For right now, I have one major character in mind who's hopefully going to be popping in and out until the end of the Classic era. You know, this is the final recording for 2018. It's just been a wild, crazy roller coaster. You know, and again, I want to thank you guys for being there. I want to thank Patrick for helping me out with so many videos. And literally, he told me a couple days ago, you know, I wanted to be more involved with a few more projects. But he's got some personal things going on. And I totally understand that, you know, taking care of his house and all that stuff. Like, hey, that's fine. Whenever we can get together to do videos, we will totally do them. You know, and like, honestly, you're the best person, and I can't think of anyone else that I'd rather be doing this stuff with. Thank you, Patrick. You are the best brother that I could have ever wished for. And I'm hoping that at the very least, you know, me expressing the sentiment here on camera will help, you know, will be good enough for this year. Because at this point, unfortunately, he couldn't make it because he wasn't feeling well, and hey, I totally get it. So next year, we'll just have to figure out something bigger and all that crazy stuff. I'm going to shout out to my buddy Brian as well as my cousin Alex. You guys got me this camera. It's worked out so well so far. And I still have to work a bit more with the mic and figure all that stuff out. And I will work on that. And hopefully I can do something better. You know, sound quality should go up, I hope. And again, to you, the fans. For those of you who watch any of my work, whether it's just Doctor Who or the actual character investigations, or just, you know, click the video and then just do something else. Like, thank you.